Hey y'all. So you know what time it is, all right? We ain't even going to check it, or we not even going to double check it, okay? It's Wednesday night and it's about the 7:30, I think, I suppose. So that means it's time for the Sugar Show with me, Natalie Sugar Brown. Yeah. This is the time that we checking in and we talking the talk about women's boxing with Natalie Sugar Brown. Yes, Natalie Sugar Brown. This is my platform. Okay? This is where we talk women's boxing. I give my authentic perspective on what's going on in women's boxing. Okay? Now, you ain't got to know everything that's going on in women's boxing, but I'm going to tell you the real truth, the reading between the lines about what's going on out there with us women that behave badly. So what's up, y'all? What's up? It's about 7:45. So I mean, your girl Suge's been running real late. She's been running real late, but I'm here. I am here. And I'm still setting up, right? But um tonight's show is I don't know how long it's going to be, and I don't know who's going to chime in. I hope my true folk, right, chime in and give me some chat tonight, right? And I hope my new people, right, come in and talk the talk with Sugar. Right? Ask me anything. Ask me some questions. Ask me anything. It ain't even got to be about what you think women's boxing is. Right? You just have to ask me and get a women a female pugilist perspective on a lot of things that's going on out here. So, you guys, tonight's topic, and it'll probably be short because this doesn't happened, okay? And yeah, I don't have the pictures and the frills and all of that stuff because I think those who are in women's boxing, y'all have seen enough of it, and I think I do a better idea. I give a better um, I give a better idea of what's happening when I talk the talk and I tell the story. Okay, so we're talking about the fight that happened over the weekend, and I'm not sure if it's a mega super, but it was a great card. Okay, and if you guys tuned in last Wednesday, I gave a little bit, and two for the past 2 Wednesdays, I've been giving y'all a bit of a rundown on what all ladies going to be acting up on the card. Okay. So tonight I'm really gonna highlight the main event because I wasn't even I, them girls. I wasn't even talking about them, right? I was talking about the undercard, Alicia versus Bumgarner versus McCalled, and some of those other wet nose broads down there that they uh, got some shine on the card. Michael Orr chimes in. Hi, Sugar. I'm here. Let's chat it up. Thank you, baby. Thanks for showing up. I love when you come see me. I love when you come by. So Mike, let me know. I mean, did you see the women's card that happened, I believe it was Saturday, um, where we had 5 women's bouts, but tonight I'm going to talk about the main event, which was Erica Cruz versus Amanda Serrano, or vice versa, right? They introduced the star first, and the star seems to be um Amanda Serrano. So Michael Orr says, yes, it was a good card. Yes, it was a good card. Um, were there any matches that you liked in particular, Mike? Let me know. Tell your girl Shug what you liked about this card that just happened. While I get into a bit of the details. So, like Mike said, it was a great showdown. Didn't I mean it was the main event was worth paying for. And I like that. Now we talking. Um I really thought it was going to be some shenanigans, y'all. I really did. I thought that, they were going to bring Amanda Serrano in and on some easy pickings shenanigans versus Erica Cruz. And not that I thought Erica Cruz was a pushover, right? And not that I thought that she was an easy win, but Erica Cruz is a Mexican fighter, okay? And as I've said before, Mexican fighters are brought in, and either they really, really, really good, or they really, really, really shouldn't be acting up in that ring. Okay, so in this case, Erica Cruz, I didn't, I didn't really check into her too much. I knew she was a good fighter. Um, but after round four, I had to go in and check the gal's receipt. Okay. I, I'll say this. Okay. The commentary was garbage. Okay. I got to say, whoever, like I said, they need to really hire some women's boxing folk to commentate these fights. And I don't care if it's a woman boxer who's actually commentating the fights, because some of these broads who fight out here really don't know what they talking about. Yeah, I said it. Okay, you gotta have some. You gotta have some something substantial in the game. You got to have time. You got to have marinated in the juices of what's going on in order to speak about it, right? So um the commentary was, I I, I cut the volume off after after the first two rounds, when they had the nerve to say Erica Cruz didn't come out looking confident, and um, that I think one of the broad commentators said, "Oh, I saw her, in the lobby, and she didn't love." Bitch, like, my whole thing is, you saw her in the lobby before the fight. What was she supposed to do? Stop and friggin' give you a facial? Or were y'all walking around the spa? She's getting ready to fight. Okay. So her walking around, what you see of her in the lobby is go time. She's locked in. Okay. So whether you read that as her being confident or not, right? You've got to give the broad the opportunity to behave badly before you even talk about how confident she is, right? Because people can confidently walk up into an ass whooping. Okay. So it's really not about that. So yeah, I cut the volume off after they said that there was talk about that. Mike, it's me and you. So let me read off what Mike's saying, you guys. So Mike said Baumgartner versus McCallum was a good fight, lots of action. Yes, it was, Mike. Yes, it was. Michael Orr also says Mexican style is come forward, high volume punching. And remember, Mike, right? Styles make fights. And a lot of people, a lot of so-called fighter connoisseurs or combat boxing connoisseurs really don't understand the beauty of the expression of boxing from the Mexican style point. Okay. Um, so Michael Orr says, I agree. The commentary was lackluster at best. There was a lot of irrelevant information being thrown out there. Thank you. I mean, you said it, right? So I turned the volume down. Just a couple things, right? Y'all need to skip that. Watch the fight with the volume turned down, you guys. So, they commented on Erica Cruz not being confident, but after putting her hands all over Amanda for the first 2 to 3 damn rounds, like she came out pretty damn confident to me behind the Mexican style. And was, I don't think Amanda was prepared for Erica Cruz stepping all in her chest as soon as the bell rang like that, which I like. I liked very much. Um, and then commentators went into what Amanda Serrano was wearing, her sneakers. I think she rocked a pair of Jordan Dunks in the ring. I'm not sure, but it's a reason why we wear boxing shoes, you guys. Okay. So I think that was just a lame attempt at trying to pull Michael Jordan and them into sponsoring or highlighting Amanda Serrano wearing the damn shoes in the ring. No, boo boo, that's not how it works. Okay. What you want to do is you don't want to wear basketball shoes in the ring while you're boxing. What you want to do is you want to wear boxing shoes, okay? And commentators for future notice. What you want to do is you want to educate the viewers about why boxing is important, so you can keep your job, okay? Right? Not about, oh, she's basketball shoes and this. So coincidentally, I was just happened to be scrolling through YouTube today, and Danzin comes out with the Danzin boxing show, and it shows Amanda Serrano walking into a sneaker store to buy Jordans because she always wears these sneakers. Y'all, stop it, right? We showing up to this thing for boxing. We're showing up to this thing for boxing. There's a reason why boxers wear boxing shoes, okay? So you ain't gonna start no trend with wearing these basketball shoes in the ring, right? And you know, the only justification for anybody wearing them heavy ass sneakers in the ring is to step on the other boxer's foot, and because you're flat footed in there, right? So take that. They really should have because I fought places where my outfits or my outfit, the commissioner wouldn't let me get in the ring and fight because they didn't agree with my outfit. So I was surprised that they let um, the basketball shoe thing go. But Serrano's the star of the show. So let's move on into the fight. Okay, so um, yeah, I had to go check the broad's receipt, Erica Cruz, and I came up with I came up with a great item, which was Erica Cruz fought a very good fighter, good champion, Jelena Mrjetovic, recently, as and she fought Jelena, who was 38 years old at the time. So Jelena is now a crone at the time, but very good fighter. Y'all look this fighter up, okay? And what she did was, Jelena Mrjetovic is very much like an Amanda Serrano, I think. I think she's an orthodox version of Amanda Serrano. They have the same type of style. They have the same type of, um, uh, how can I say, boxer who wants to be a banger type of style. Okay, they have those big punches that they throw, and it's about being the bully in there. So I looked at this fight, and Erica Cruz also did very well in this fight, right? Jelena Mijinovic was several time WBC champion at is it featherweight? Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, or correct me, or let me know if I'm right. But this is the weight class that they're rallying at. Okay, so Jelena served as some kind of So Mike Orr comes in and says feather. Yeah, Jelena served as some kind of measure to the caliber of champion. Erica Cruz actually is. So Erica Cruz went into the fight, and this is the style that Erica Cruz has. Erica Cruz has the type of style where she's not coming in per se to win. She's going to come in to beat you up. Of course, she's going to win. But it's beyond winning now. She's going to beat you up. She's going to swell you, or she's going to beat you up. And if she can, she's going to headbutt you, and she'll bust you up. Okay? And y'all already know I like that kind of bad girl style. Okay? So Mike said it. Comes in with the Mexican style, throws her hands. Erica Cruz is also a southpaw. Okay, and what I saw that she was having a lot of success with in this fight is she was using that women's box. Hey, women's boxing channel comes in saying Serrano has virtually always worn trainers or ankle shoes. Women's boxing channel says, hey all. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, but at the same time, good on her. She's always worn, those I guess basketball shoes in the ring. But this is my thing about that, right? Like I said, there were times, or there were situations where, I mean, I've gone into fighting, and the the commissioner told me that, okay, those shoes weren't appropriate, your outfit's not appropriate, or, there's always something. But she's the star of the show, granted. But commentator making note that she's wearing the basketball shoes. You talking boxing. Okay, commentator, you talking boxing, right? So great that she's in there with the basketball shoes on, but it would have been a great teaching moment to say, most boxers wear boxing shoes because blah blah this, right? I just thought I mean, women's boxing channel, you always come for me, but I just thought that was a cheap attempt at pulling sponsorship of basketball shoes into the boxing arena, right? If anything, let, let's talk about boxing shoes. Let's talk about why it's important for boxing shoes, right? This is what I'm saying about the whole thing, right? They're using women's boxing as a crutch to do other things, right? Let's use women's boxing to bring value to boxing, right? When was the last time? I remember back in the early 2000s where, it was cool. And back in the 80s where you would see people actually rock boxing boots and wearing the boxing shoes and things like that, right? So that was bringing our presence into what's going on, right? Now okay, she's wearing the basketball shoes while fighting in the ring. Let's talk about why it's important to wear the damn boxing shoes, so we can bring some value back into boxing. So Thailand, them, Everlasting, them, all of them companies, or and the upcoming companies, maybe Amanda Serrano should market or talk about marketing a actual boxing shoe instead of basketball shoe. That's all I have to say, right? So Women's Boxing Channel says, not coming for you, just facts, right? So what I'm doing is I'm expounding on the fact that, okay, the basketball shoes, like, I'm sorry, I'm of a certain pedigree as well. So I came up elite USA boxing, right? Elite, Olympic level, Olympic team, world championship, all of that stuff. You couldn't show up to no fight on a elite level, on a level like that, right? Because it's the way you carry yourself, wearing no damn basketball shoes, right? Because they found that as being disrespectful to the, you don't show up, you don't show up to a corporate meeting with basketball shoes on, right? You have your suit and your corporate wear on, right? So and you wouldn't show up to oh, well, some people do, but I mean, let's say this. You don't wear, as a woman, you don't wear white to another woman's wedding. I wonder why, right? Why? Because they feel like you're disrespecting what's going on, which is another woman's wedding. You don't wear white to another woman's wedding, right? I mean, these are cultural things, okay? And to me, the culture of women's boxing, right? And the culture of boxing needs to be maintained, especially for longevity, and especially for us to make money. Women's boxing comes in and Women's Boxing Channel comes in and says there ain't any suits in a Facebook meeting. Um, I'm not sure where you're what you're alluding to with a Facebook meeting, right? I'm talking about was the fight Women's Boxing Channel says Facebook culture is no formalities. Okay, where you come in, Women's Boxing Channel, what does Facebook have to do with the point that I'm trying to make? Boxing is not Facebook. You can't have a fight on Facebook. You're not fighting someone on Facebook, right? Boxing is a culture. That's what I'm saying. Facebook may be a culture, but that culture is not, you know what I'm saying? That culture is not it. That culture has nothing to do with what's going on, right? So Michael Orr chimes in and says the shoes were only the topic of conversation because they were a pair of Nike Air Jordan 1s, Fearless. Okay. I don't know. Like that was just the thing. I don't, the commentary that just made me turn the volume down. I'm sorry. That's just me, right? I like if I'm watching boxing and if I'm engaged, I love boxing too much for the culture of it to be bastardized. That's all I'm saying. Right down to the what you wear and how you present yourself in the ring. There's culture behind that, right? You don't see in no damn Thai boxing match, right? They come out with the thing on the back of their head, they go around and they pray and they do all of that because there's a culture in Thai boxing, right? And that is what makes that that sport so rich, and that's what gives it the depth and longevity, right? Because they believe there's a culture that they believe in that aligns itself with the combat aspect of that, right? My thing about them, oh, okay, she got the Air Jordan 1 Fearless on. Okay, cool. Yeah, that'd be cool if she wore that to the corner. She was going to have a fight on the corner, but you're a professional female fighter. You're a professional boxer, right? So everything that, to me, everything that you exude should represent the professionalism and the culture of boxing. That's all. I mean, that's what I have to say about that. Take it or leave it, right? But it's the sugar show. I just believe that the cult, in not only as a woman, right? Us doing this, we should stick to what our value is, but we should also maintain the culture of what we're doing. Um, Women's Boxing Channel says, the owner of Facebook, you said you wouldn't go to a meeting. You never said a boxing meeting. I said a corporate meeting on Women's Boxing Channel. And I don't think you would go meet. Now, the owner of Facebook, right, can possibly wear Air Jordans or flip flops to a damn Facebook meeting because he owns Facebook. That's his thing. That's his platform, right? And if flip flops and sneakers are the culture for Facebook, well, yes, he would be. I guess he would be the one to determine that. But boxing has a culture, right? I don't have to say what it is. Like if you show up to a job interview and you're not wearing uh, a a suit or something that represents your professionalism, I don't know if you're going to get the job. Right? You show up to represent a client and you got Air Force One Fearless or whatever. What is it? The Jordan Fearless is on, and you're supposed to represent somebody at court, going to court, right? You're going to, and your lawyer got some damn Jordan ones on Fearless. Oh shit, that I guess that looks badass, but what does that say, right? What does that speak, right? That's all I'm saying. There's a culture, right? It's the same thing like walking into a courtroom. You're walking into an arena as a fighter, as a gladiator, as a boxer, right? So oh, you walked right into my landmine, Women's Boxing Channel. Women's Boxing Channel says, sorry, LOL. Michael Orr says, I've studied Thai boxing for over a decade, and it's a martial art rich in tradition. Thank you, Michael Orr. Women's Boxing Channel says, Natalie, your ring wear wasn't purest boxing attire, was it? Now, this is a teaching moment. Women's Boxing Channel, you've got to do some homework, okay? Women used to fight in lingerie back in the early 1800s, back in the early 1900s. Women boxed in lingerie, and that's what I fought in, lingerie. Yeah. So that was me going back into the culture. Everything that Sugar did, right? Even the boots that Mike likes goes back into the culture. Look at the old boxing, look at the old women's boxing pictures. And I wish I had those images that I could show you guys. Those women weren't wearing men boxing shorts or breeches. They were wearing women's lingerie. Okay. I'm true to this. You new to this Women's Boxing Channel. Okay. Um, Women's Boxing Channel says, what's it matter what a fighter wears? Um, Another teaching moment. It does matter what a boxer wears because that's one thing. I think the I don't know if it was Jessica McCaskill or who, but the female who was one of the commentators said that the fighter wearing the sneakers, the basketball shoes, should not have been wearing the basketball shoes in there, because it made for a wider, more sturdy um surface for the fighter to fight off of. Teaching moment, baby. So let me explain something to you. What you see may look like a ring, and a ring is a ring is a ring. But when you get into certain rings may be mushy, okay? Rings, the surface of the rings may be mushy, and your feet go down into it, and it makes for a hard fight for fighters who bounce on their toes and things like that. And then there are rings that are firm and bouncy like a trampoline, right? Which makes for a difficult fight for a fighter that needs that grounding to dig and drive into the ground. Okay, there are slippery rings, right, where the canvas is slippery, and you can't find your footing, especially when there's sweat dripping, right? And there's sweat dripping off of the fighter, as well as Vaseline sliding off of the fighter, or baby oil, right? Because we oil ourselves up before we get in the ring. Why? Pray tell, right? Since you know a lot, since y'all know a lot out there, why do fighters utilize things like baby oil, Vaseline, grease, right? I'm gonna give y'all a minute, and then I'm come back to it, right? So the shoes now, them big ass basketball shoes that you're wearing in the ring, can also be used as uh, another weapon to the other fighter with the soft boxing shoes on, because what we do in there is we step on each other's feet, right? We low key kick each other's ankles. We do all of these things that y'all may not see, okay? Because y'all are too busy looking up here. That's the art of combat, especially the art of fighting in the ring, right? So if you fighting a fighter with these big ass damn shoes on, okay, and they stepping on your foot, they kicking your heels, right? They roughhousing with the damn big ass shoes on, and they got a more sturdy platform. So when you hit them, right, they're grounded. Don't you have the edge? Right? That's just like when they wrap the hands, and you use more than one they use more than one uh, circle, or one thing of tape on a fighter's hands, right? Margarito wrapped his hands, his people wrapped his hands so much so with tape that it became a cast, right? Which changed how they looked at now wrapping up for boxing. Because when you gauze, and when you have the person, when you're wrapping up, right, you're only supposed to use, I think, you're supposed to use one billow of gauze, right? And you can use one tape, one round of tape, okay? And that's it. The rest is your hands, right? Your hands are supposed to be conditioned and hard enough to constantly be hitting bone, skull, and everything that needs to be hit to break down your opponent. Teaching moment, Women's Boxing Channel. We talking fight. You talking to a fighter, okay? Let me learn you something, right? And you said, right? You said your son was the one who put on the first bare knuckle championships and all of that stuff. Well, you should know about this stuff. You should know that's fighting, right? So it does matter. It does matter, right? I had a the Cecilia Brækhus used to wear her guard, her groin protector right up under her breast. You're not supposed to do that, right? So you wear your groin protector right up under your breast, a big ass groin protector. That's literally protecting you from body shots in there, right? But fighters used to go in there and pull their trunks up that high so it looked like, oh, I'm just wearing big trunks. No, everything is deliberate. Everything is deliberate in fighting. Everything's deliberate in boxing, right? So when I used to fight fighters that did that, I came out with my corset. Yeah. So it wasn't a groin protector. I wore my full body, I wore my lingerie with the corset, right? Because they protecting their ribs. My corset's gonna protect my ribs, right? Some commissions would pass it, many wouldn't, right? But that's when I brought up the other. Okay, well, her groin protected. My team, well, she's wearing that big ass groin protector, so it's either all or nothing, right? So you've got to know what you're walking into. This isn't pity pat. Like I always say before, this is legal assault. You're walking in with weapons. Everything that you think may not be a weapon is a weapon. The hair is a weapon. Why do you think, oh, you think it's cool that broads are walking in with cornrows now? No, right? Before cornrows are rough, right? So when you rub them damn cornrow braids across somebody's eye or somebody's bridge, especially if you busted them up, you're going to open the wound even more. Yeah, stuff like that, right? And a fighter peeps that. I would see that, right? These are the things that y'all don't see out there. Y'all just see people jumping around and hitting each other. It's a lot deeper, right? It's a lot deeper. You guys give me a minute. My batteries low. Just give me a minute, y'all. Give me a second, y'all. Ooh, all right, y'all. So I'm back. So yeah, that's what Matt, and veering off into that conversation. I mean, into that, right? We're talking about the Serrano Cruz fight, but yeah, I mean, it's the little things, right? It's the little things that matter, especially in, I don't know, as a female fighter. What we want to do is we want to maintain the culture, and we want to also express how important that culture is in what we do, right? So my whole thing, and like I said, the female fighter who was the commentator on the show, I mean, she mentioned it too. Basketball shoes? You boxing? You fighting in basketball shoes? No, no. Um. Uh. Michael Orr says, I feel there is a lot more that could have been discussed by ringside commentators other than the shoes Serrano was wearing. So they were wearing, like I said, Mike, all of a sudden, like, look out there, they dancing dropped the dancing boxing show, and the first thing they showed was Amanda walking into a sneaker store buying sneakers. So I think that was their little lame attempt at getting Jordan to to drop some money down into the game. And nope, nah, that's not gonna work. That's certainly not gonna, no. Um, and little girls everywhere or little boys everywhere are not going to start wearing basketball shoes into the boxing ring, right? It just doesn't, it's just not boxing. And that's what we want to sell. We want to sell boxing, right? So get the damn basketball shoes out the damn ring with your flat-footed ass, right? Like you can't go into any boxing gym. Go try to go into any damn boxing gym, going into they ring and telling them that you going to box in their ring in some damn basketball shoes. They'll kick your ass right out the gym. You ain't finna tear my damn canvas up or my ring up with them damn shoes. Yeah, like, let's sell the culture. That's all I'm saying. And there were more things that could have been talked about, but I think, like I said, they just they got to get fight people. They got to get real boxing people, real fight people to start commentating these fights so it can stay interesting, so they can really sell it authentically, right? Because when you sell the business authentically, you bring more money and opportunities to what can come and what can be made in this thing that's blowing up right now. So Michael Orr says during the strip club circuit days. Yeah, and so there's a lot of broads that still fight on the strip club circuit, right? As I've said before, don't let this smooth shit fool you, right? I love to claim that I am probably one of the last generation of women fighters who came out of the gutter, right? Women's boxing was for gutter bitches at one time. Yes, I said it like that. Why? Because you back in the day, it wasn't sophisticated, it wasn't cute, it wasn't all of that at a certain time. You were looked down upon if you claimed that you were a woman boxer or you're a woman that fought. And I like to keep saying that. And I want to keep reminding people of that, because there's a reason why a lot of the fighters in the past made those sacrifices and had those hard times. If it was as easy as it was now for a broad to say, oh, I'm a boxer, then trust me, we would have already had goats and greats. We had to fight for our reputation first. We had to bring respect to our names first. And now that there's respect to our names, right? Only a certain caliber of woman gets to be respected in women's boxing. No. I want this. That's why I keep talking about this. No, right? We were always women behaving badly, and it wasn't cool. We couldn't even get a license to behave badly, right? Because only a certain type of woman did that. Michael Orr says most boxers will find themselves battered and bleeding after a few rounds in the ring. Vaseline mixed with coagulant can be applied to the open wounds to limit the amount of blood that is lost. And I'll add one to it. Okay, so we're going back to the answer to that question. We utilize grease and Vaseline because the punches slide off of you. You're not taking the full brunt of the strike when you're all greased up. That shit's gonna slide off, right? And as you're sweating, it's going to slide off onto the canvas. And whether you have a canvas that has a plastic top, right, or a ring that has a plastic top, or a ring that has that rough canvas, can determine how a fight goes for you. Yeah, you can lose a fight or win a fight based on the canvas that you're fighting on. Okay, and that's what it is, right? So it's not just about the cuts. Okay, it's about, like, fight this is what fighters, teachable moment. Some fighters grease themselves down and sleep with the grease on their skin so it can absorb in their skin, right? So if they're fighting the next day, it would prepare the skin not to be broken so they won't be busted up. Y'all didn't know that. These are all secrets that the old generals have died with, right? This is me educating y'all. My coach, used to say, one of my coaches used to say, I forgot more than these mofos know about boxing. And it's true, right? Um, yes, it slows the bleed, but it's a lot more, it's a lot deeper to this Vaseline thing and this oil thing, and all of these things that y'all see and y'all take for granted. Um, Women's Boxing Channel says, all I said was you don't wear purist boxing attire and you go off on one. Ha ha ha. Um, I don't, Women's Boxing Channel, I just don't understand what you're saying. I have just educated you to saying what I did wear was actually purist boxing attire. Women wise, women boxing history wise, because women started out boxing in lingerie. They boxed in lingerie. Ha ha ha, right? I'm trying to teach you and you making the, I mean, this is what we fought for, right? Women's Boxing Channel, right? Y'all come, people like you come in and you swear y'all are fans and you swear you fighting for the cause and you swear you know us. But when someone is teaching you about what we actually are, you laugh like it's a joke. And it's not a joke. It's our history. And we're proud of it. Michael Orr says we should discuss over 1,800 punches thrown in the Serrano Cruz fight. Not necessarily. I'm not going to discuss how many punches were thrown in the fight. And Women's Boxing Channel says, yes, Mike, let's. I'm not going to discuss how many punches were thrown, okay? But I am going to discuss what the strategy was in the fight and how things turned around. So remember, this ain't CompuBox, right? This ain't a CompuBox conversation. This is about talking about the fight. So the first 4 rounds, I really gave Cruz kudos because Cruz jumped into, like I said, jumped in Amanda's chest, no questions asked. She came to do what it do, okay? And her flurries that she was throwing, she came in banging. And it's not about the 1,800 punches thrown, but it's about the intent of the punches thrown, right? So Erica Cruz is a southpaw. Her style, she's a banger fighter, okay? And Erica Cruz is I would call her I would call her a choleric temperament fighter because um she doesn't come, like I said, she doesn't come in there to just, at the whim, and she doesn't come in off the energy of the crowd or anyone in the corner. She come in to beat you up. She comes in to bust you up, to beat you up. Okay, and she doesn't wait to do that. As soon as the bell rang, she was all upside Amanda's head. And Amanda was taken aback by that, right? So Amanda thought she'd have a chance to get space. She'd have a chance to throw her, her regular combos, which is jab, the jab cross hook that she normally does, and kind of land those big bomb shots that Amanda Serrano likes to land. But Erica Cruz didn't give her an opportunity to execute that. She was right up on her, right? So the fight went that way for the first 4 rounds from what I saw. Okay, and it's 2-minute rounds. Okay, so I guess to give some momentum to what you guys said about the 1,800 shots thrown. Okay, in 2 minutes, I guess that's a lot of punches to throw in 2 minutes. I mean, in 2-minute rounds, right? You have to have a you have to, your cardio has to be on point, right? I bring it back to this. It's when you're throwing those numbers now in 3-minute rounds, then I'm going to talk about it, right? I forgot what the African fighter, there's an African male fighter he was known to do that because he wasn't hurting anybody, but he would sure, overwhelm fighters with punches. Forgot his name, right? But when you're doing it in 2 minutes, I don't know. I'm still not gonna be convinced, but it is something that to be mentioned. Okay, um, and plus, I'm gonna say this: nobody was talking about Michael Orr. I don't I know you got that from an article or something that probably was paid to be put out here, right? Because nobody's counting punches in women's boxing. I think Katie Taylor's punch output is very high, and I've never heard or seen nobody count, no article come out counting how many punches Katie Taylor throws, right? So don't nobody count punches that women boxers throw, right? We still want to see the hurt part of it. Who's hurting who? How are they hurting them? So and that's what I was looking at. In the first 4 rounds, I saw where Cruz was having a lot of success with her right uppercut to the body, and she came up with the right uppercut to the body, and then the right hook to Amanda's head. Okay, which, I mean, she was finding a home for that uh, for the first 4 rounds, and it looked like it was breaking Amanda down early. What I saw was Amanda using great defensive skills in using the touch and go technique, which is a lot of fighters. This may be new to a lot of people who don't box or who are new to boxing, but those who are true should, when I say touch and go, you should understand what touch and go means. So touch and go means you block, you counter, you block, you counter, you block, you counter, right? And so Amanda was using touch and go, and I liked it. It showed her IQ, it showed her education. She didn't run away from the barrage, which that is what I want to see. That's what we want to see in professional women's boxing now, right? How are you going to manage someone coming to you with a fight, right? The running, we're not running anymore. We're not in the amateurs anymore, right? How are you going to stand your ground and deal with this person coming at you? And so I think Amanda did well. When it got up to round 5-ish now, okay, Amanda started getting the idea now that, okay, she has to get some space in order to throw her bombs. She's the taller fighter. Cruz is in the pocket. So when Cruz gets in the pocket now of Amanda's space, right? Amanda now cannot throw her big bombs because Amanda is long and lanky compared to Erica Cruz. So she needs distance and she needs space to generate momentum to throw those shots. So Amanda, using her IQ, this is why I started enjoying the fight, right? Now we get into real boxing, real professional boxing. And these women were exhibiting that, where now Amanda started establishing the distance by incorporating her jab. And she's using the jab, and then she's stepping off the angle or off course of Erica Cruz's full-on barrage, right? Because Erica Cruz is using pressure and volume. And that is when you are in the ring and someone's coming at you that way, right? Stepping back is you giving ground and you willfully now giving up the fight. Amanda had to use her wit, right? And show what she's made of by saying, I'm not going to step back. I'm not my ground. I have the tools in my bag and I'm going to use them. So she brought out the tools. She brought out the angles. She brought out using the jab. She brought out the touch and go. Okay, now we're fighting. Now we're seeing what professionalism is when it comes to pugilistic generalship in the ring. Okay. Cruz then started, Cruz kept on with the pressure because Cruz is a pressure fighter. But now Cruz starts to fade in her momentum because now the jab is being established. And now Cruz's hook, right? Cruz's right hook is no longer landing because the hook is a short shot, right? So when somebody's jabbing you, you don't throw the hook, right? This is boxing, this is fighting. You don't throw a hook. If somebody gives you a straight shot, unless it's a long hook, but you're not throwing a hook because the hook is going to miss, right? That straight jab has now established distance, and you're only throwing these hook shots when you're when you're beyond a person's immediate range. This is boxing. I'm talking fight right now. Okay. So in Amanda Serrano adding the jab, establishing the jab, creating the distance now, she's taken a weapon and one of Erica Cruz's most profound weapons away from her. Check. I like it, Amanda. Girl, I like it, right? So Amanda has shown that she is a good fighter, right? But now she's then stepped up to another level, especially in another fighter like myself's eyes, because now I see the broad got smarts. The broad can really fight, and she can really think on her feet, right? And that's something that's commendable and respectable now here in the ring. We have real champion material because she's executing the fact that she can manage this shit. Okay? Now, in now the exchange, Amanda's created the distance, and now she's able to get leverage off of her punches. Okay, and in creating the distance and getting the leverage, now Amanda Serrano has now added power to her pop. Okay, and that power now has touched Erica Cruz, and where she busted Erica Cruz up. She got an Erica leaking in there. Okay, so now the fight is the scale, right? Where the scale is one way, you know, Cruz looked like she was heavy on the scale. Now the scale starts tilting towards Amanda's side. Amanda now is winning, right? This is how it's not just about 1,800 punches now, right? It's now about she's breaking this broad down, and this broad is not an easy broad. Okay, this broad come to fight. This broad is dangerous. This broad will do damage. So yes, now it's becoming entertaining for people who want to know what a real fight looks like. I like it, Amanda. I like it, Erica. Y'all are representing fully in there for women's boxing. That's women's boxing. Okay? Both broads extended themselves. It was a great match, a great fight. I'm gonna go. Let's see what these guys are saying. So Michael Orr says Cruz actually outthrew Serrano 96.8 punches per 2-minute round to Serrano's 94.9, but her quicker hands, better jabbing attempts to 42.3 attempts over 4.9 connects per round to Cruz's 34.5 over 2.2. Okay, so these are I guess y'all, Michael Orr come in with the CompuBox talk. I don't know. Ask anybody who's actually watching a fight, right? Because we're not the computer. The computer can't judge a fight, right, gentlemen? Michael Orr, Women's Boxing Channel. A computer cannot judge a fight. A computer cannot determine a winner of a fight, right? A computer is going to do what a computer does, which is give numbers. And numbers does not determine the winner or the victor of a fight. And y'all know that, right? Michael Orr says, helped her achieve accuracy gaps of 27% to 21% overall. To see all of this stuff, y'all can read it in the chat. Those are who are chiming in, who are looking at the chat. I don't know. Like the numbers make it even more boring to me. Like, watch a fight. Watch what's going on in the fight, right? Instead of count the numbers, watch what's going on in the fight. Michael Orr says Cruz has landed 202 landed punches and 968 thrown were the most by a Serrano opponent. Okay. So you guys, these numbers, right? So what does, tell me what the numbers does. Does the, tell me how many quarts or pints of blood then was drawn in the ring and in the fight, and tell me what the breaths per minute and all of those things, right? Because all of those things have something to do with these numbers as well, right? So if we're going to say numbers, let's talk about the real factors behind these numbers in a fight. Women's Boxing Channel says, you haven't educated me on anything. I don't already know you. God, nobody can tell you jack. How arrogant. No, how arrogant on your part, Women's Boxing Channel, right? I've not, arrogance is not, um, being open to information, and I'm always open to the information that you bring to the table, Women's Boxing Channel, right? But I educate you because some of the statements that you make, I don't I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt, and because you come with some very profound observations, but then you turn around and you say things that are, if you claim to be as knowledgeable about women's boxing as as someone who has, like myself, who has lived it, studied it, right, and continues to live it, then you should understand that telling me, oh, your outfits weren't this and that and this and that, you don't even know where the outfits of women fighters originated from. But you're telling me about something, right? You've not asked Sugar, right? Sugar, where did you get your ideas for your boxing outfit from? They were a bit unorthodox too, right? Why did you wear what you wore in the ring? Amanda might have wore what she wore in the ring for a reason, right? Which I've explained the reason why Amanda wears the heavy ass basketball shoes in the ring. And the other fighter who was commentating the fight that night had explained it too. There are benefits that go against what the actual attire that you're supposed to wear, right? Those, they draw benefits that you shouldn't be allowed, right? Boxing shoes go in the boxing ring for a reason, right? So that's what I was talking about. Of course, I haven't educated you on anything because you're not open to hear anything, right? It seems like you always want to conflict, or you always want to be contrary to anything that I'm saying, right? But I have to educate you, right? As a woman boxer, right? This is why I have the Sugar Show. I have to educate you on what you think you know, because you're new to this, and I appreciate how much you like and love women's boxing, but you're not all the way true to this, hun. Um, Women's Boxing Channel said, ha ha ha, that told you, Mike, LOL. And being an instigator too, like, I don't know what that means, haha, that told you, Mike. But what I'm telling both of you is, the numbers and everything, I'm not telling Mike anything. Mike is adding Mike is adding something to the conversation that we do need to talk about, right? Let's not go into numbers, right? And these articles, if you know women's boxing, and our industry, or if you want to learn about our industry, all of these things that are now, all this information and all this stuff that the media is flooding into the the platforms, have nothing to do with the actual fight that happened. It's all marketing. It's all just marketing a celebrity boxer, right? If you want to hear and understand and know what you actually saw and what it is, right? Check out the women's boxing website. And I've already told you where to go, right? Those are the things that count, right? And we don't count punches. Women's boxing, we've never counted punches. We've never counted punches. And we're not about to start either, right? That makes it even worse. Please, that's suicide for women's boxing because we only fight 2 minutes, right? So if it comes down to now who throws the most punches in 2 minutes in a 2-minute round, right? That's the reason why they've changed the judging system in amateur boxing, right? Because they used to just run out and do this after a while. Boom, 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 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and rack up the points. Taking away the intent, the strategy, and the effect of what these strikes mean. Boxing is a science. And we have to maintain that, especially in women's boxing, because we're not the same, right? But there's certain things that maintain the value of what we do in the ring there. Michael Orr says Amanda used her jab more in the later rounds. Yeah, Amanda used her jab more in the later rounds, of course, because that was the only way she was gonna win, right? Cruz, like you said, Michael Orr, is a purist, a Mexican boxing pure. Her style is it's not the Euro style, right? It's not the Latin American style where it's a certain footwork and a movement. Even the North American style is a style, right? It's that South America. It's the deliberately the Mexican style, right? Which is they bang, and their rhythm is not is a bit of an offbeat rhythm. So every time they attack, it's not to a rhythm that we know. It's to their rhythm, right? And they do punch in volume, and their punches don't start from the top, from the head. Their punches start from the body. They break a body down, they break someone down from the body, and then they move up to the head. Okay, so in Amanda, in making the adjustment to incorporate the jab, way the rhythm of that, the only punch, but you can, because the rhythm is of establishing so that right Cruz is a can't out bang Cruz is a bang court box because not style that move says more it'll air down that jab boxing channel use mean, you know, head, not head down the body, and um, they're in boxing that we all know. The head makes sense. Work that free blind ring, the winner. Well, we all knew who they, right? Take sure, no. And I, that's why I focus. As I was going to go and because it looked even. All right, y'all, I'm back. I'm hoping that is, but man, I think that my guys were having the any of what you guys were really join in that conversation, the rebuttal, okay, but women's boxing saying choppy your neck. South Atlanta, and ain't that water a bit colder than um the South Atlantic? I don't know. You tell me, women's boxing channel. I was saying, I said to highlight that fight tonight. Um, it was a great example of what we want to see. And if Amanda Serrano decided that she wasn't gonna oldest girl and run away from, she was actually gonna herself and use great contender in front of to make this women a match, and she did a great job. That was one for the book. Congratulations to both. Now what's happened? Women's beer than Captain Pugwash. I don't know Captain Pugwash. Boat. But okay. Trifines. Hey, and you are late. Never seen. I never saw it before. You a lady out here appreciating. That's awesome. Cute. Yeah. It's not Trifine Scott says, WBC, but still choppy. She's saying that to women's boxing channel comes in. It is trifle. Boxing channel. Boxing choppy. It is right. What you right. Back to you know, showing at least college. I first Serrano uh, better. It, it was it was acting use them stuff. Box virtual. Oh, okay. I'm not sure the the I get the risk here, but I mean, from the women try to see this. I mean, you've been you kind of like, well, we boxing channel is box give uh, right all should fight. It's okay. Um, actually, been it. Says no. So about that, this is the like I find what that could have been. I just wrong. Um, um, I might have as my reception is. I don't want to relations. Oh, I I'm gonna try to conversation fight background something neighborhood. I mean, the sugar on tonight, y'all. So, says you enjoying this technicality to do with it though. Ooh, I Trifine Scott, you boxing channel bad boxing channel tries to be a triangle. Blame. I'm not going to blame with. I don't know. Might have something to do. Wink, wink. Says she's going to refresh. Oh, wait a minute. Women's we can't you. Michael Orr says she's going. Michael Orr about the. All right. Like I'm going to go back. Okay. Then what's going back? And if I mean, maybe I'm gonna wrap it up. Y'all know sugar always have been been like 3 hours show. I'll take me down into the night. Wow, all on here going at it. What's back? Try uh, going in. See what's going. Hey, try me. You got time, don't you? I got time tonight. She said, WB. Hey, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to wrap it up. Oh, to say, I had a little bit more to say. The signal ain't working right, and I'm going to give justice to this recap. Like I said, Ali, the women's boxing channel said to do with anything. I don't know. Y'all are going in. Y'all are on stuff on um uh WBC. Got to do with a lot of things. So stop them. You mess around and not know that sometimes of what you messing around with behind bars, or your ass will end situation. So age got a lot to do, right? What's age got to do with anything you like WBC? I don't know. This black comment is. I hope you not coming with this thing. I joined chat. I left and came back, and y'all. But WBC, I hope you not platform. Women's better. WTF anyone is. It kind of does. Trifine Scott says roll WBC. So she was just, guess you said something about Bruce found you on it. I mean, much, right? Let's not get too sensitive about having a chat on here. We're not hitting. We keep it fair and respectful. Um, the Ramla Ali fight, the the fought. Mike, if you can chime in, because I don't remember the contender, but Ramla and her people and allow Miss Ali get a bit more seasoning, a big card like sparring, right? Because she didn't look like she didn't show up to fight, right? It looked like a sparring match, and it looked like some trouble with had there in the ring. Ramla running out of gas. Now this is pros, so she's not Michael or says average. So Avril Mathy is 2, right? And I told y'all about them. If one thing that they are in there, they are okay. They are. So Ramla Ali in there thinking that she was going to box this pros baby, right in there trying to save your little ass. Ref was in there stopping the fight as minute, but Avril was with, so she Avril Ramla Ali down more so into a fight progressed and that contender. It wasn't by you know, it wasn't by chance. To get in there when she went in there, the only way that she was going to make a dent Ali's plan, really turn it into a fight. Rounds progressed. She did everything to make Ramla enough to make mistake in a ship, and Ramla did, in her match, Avril Mathy. Avril Mathy, you showing yourself as a contender. I think you need a bit. I like this fighter you are, or intimidated in level fighter, and you took the Ramla that. But this matchup didn't, as I've said before, and the showing as well was caliber that should be on this card. Moving on to goodness, well, name down, but that one stood out a bit because I'm not sure. See, he's gonna chime in for the other gal that was the card. I think she's a fellow UK that was on the card, but her I don't even, it shouldn't even be her generalship, the way she anything that made it a pro, didn't have headgear on, right? Exhibit perfect in there, so we're not talking about it. But how I want it tonight is I want to end the show. I'm not ready for Amanda Katie Taylor part 2 yet. Let that build. And how build, okay? Because I'm excited about that yet. I don't care to know about it yet. Get the rest of us interested is the just them. Okay, so Amanda Serrano versus Serrano versus Taylor 2. That's what I'm saying. We're not ready for that. Let's build on it. Let's make it super again. The way other contenders into the fight. So before y'all want to spoon like feed this next people money, right? Let on what women's body is the jam, right? We've got some rivalries, we've got some spotlight. Let's do this. Let's do Amanda Serrano versus Delphine. Why not? That sounds matchup. That's almost super. Serrano Taylor part. Do that. Let's do Taylor Katie Cruz. Right? Let's how Katie Taylor fares. Right? Which would build up in. Okay? Let her soon versus Eric. Okay? These are the things. This builds anticipation. Right? I watching soap opera, right? Watch Katie Taylor versus Amanda happened in the middle. I don't even remember who Katie Taylor last. A great two great contenders out here. Both fighters are run for their money, who make a great match and make great between the two of them. Let's put that on the table. Women's Boxing Channel comes and sitting here listening to people and Natalie claiming my fighters are wrong. I'm wrong. So ain't cool. Women's Boxing Channel, first of all, I don't. Okay. So to you, I don't know you, right? This is sugar, the conversation. So if I said anyone was wrong, but what we want to do is we want to clarify what's going on, what these things mean. Sugar has this platform. This is not a yes ma'am, right? This is sugar. Everyone's wrong. If you're saying everyone's wrong, everybody just might, right? The media and everything else is saying that orchestrating it is right all the time. That's not the case all the time. So you got to know. My versus Ellen Sidori thoughts. My thoughts on Asia Green stopping Torres is it may be into a showdown between Asia Green versus Fran Zern. And it may be that Shadeja needs to prove herself by bringing in opposition on the seat. So now she's 12-12 KOs. Okay. Franchon, I think, is what, something like that. I know Sean's caliber. I know what's Shadeja, like I think she needs it, and that's my thoughts about I Franchon Cruz and Sedoris so after a fighter time, especially someone like Sedoris, not gonna to be seen when they in that thing back, and is after being so heart minded, it shows a result. They go to that be taken a quick round and even spiritually physics stop and stop more that's some more there Asia and looking for the show eventually Asia Green he's on France. I just like a match that's sure I'm on. Then should they buy receipt or value just and fiends chop. I'm you guys. I done made mad. It's got to hurt. All the things off it. Where we want. All right. You guys at okay. Subscribe and share. Bye bye.